So we're eating lunch together. Because, you know, we do that. I get a phone call from you.
Yes.
You're asking me if I could successfully land a plane with the help of, in brackets, air traffic control. What was actually said was Air Force One, but air traffic control.
Well, they're there too. You gotta.
Is it like current president? Not to get. May I get libbed up? I don't think I need the president's help in this one.
No, I just told you. The president's not there. I just told you Air Force One's there.
Okay, so just Air Force One and air traffic control. Can I land the plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I think we can land the plane.
Well, that was the entire motivation of it, because it's like I either call you and you say no, I'm a fucking chungus and I can't land the plane.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say no. Why would I ever say no?
Oh, because you don't believe, brother. And we're believers here, and I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to believe in Pod-a-Mania, baby. Welcome back to Pod-a-Mania. My name is Eddie. His name is Dylan. His name is Dylan. My name is Eddie. Go ahead and follow the damn podcast at Pod-a-Mania Pod. This is a weekly wrestling show most of the time.
Sometimes.
You can follow us at BozoDills at _EWL3.
We have an Instagram.
We do have an Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. We're trying to get
Napster.
out on LimeWire. Trying to legally download all of these episodes, and
if you successfully download every episode illegally, I will dap you up.
I will recreate the Soldier Boy music video. Crank that music video.
Soldier Boy up in it.
Ho, watch me crank it, watch me roll, watch me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman, that
watch me
woman,
you.
That fine woman.
That breathtaking woman. Now watch me you. U-I-E-O and sometimes Y. Hey. That was bad. That was bad. I couldn't let that go. I couldn't let you just do it. That was bad.
Sometimes
no, sit.
No, I'm only
sit. Good boy. Continue.
On the show, we usually cover last week's episode of SmackDown, the Raw from this week, and anything in between. This week, it's just SmackDown and Raw, but we do have a lot to talk about.
Jeez.
5 hours of wrestling, and Jesus, my notes are loaded.
There's a date, I believe, for SmackDown not being 3 hours anymore.
Yes. So SmackDown is going back to 2 hours at July 4th. No, I think it's 24th, I think.
Well, whatever day that is the best day of my life.
Yeah. I just, I don't know if 2 hours is necessarily the right move for SmackDown, because I don't think the issue is that it's too long. They don't know how to book a 3-hour show. And it's been said in the past by Triple H and Vince McMahon that, it is more difficult to book 3 hours of pro wrestling than it is to book 2. But why is there such a quality difference between a 2-hour Raw, which was 3 hours for years and years and years, and a brand new 3-hour SmackDown? What, are you telling me through that time of Raw being 3 hours, you didn't learn anything to book a 3-hour show? The pacing of a 3-hour show? That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. I think it's they've messed up on roster construction. There's not enough talent at the 3-hour show. There's much more talent at the 2-hour show. Like just based on amount of wrestlers on the roster for Raw compared to SmackDown.
Which is crazy.
It's insane to me, because it's if you're gonna have a show be 3 hours, you should probably have more wrestlers than the show that's 2 hours. It would just make
I would
sense
almost argue that they probably have equal rosters,
and that's still bad.
Give or take 10 to 15 people.
And that's
I'll say 10 to 15. And there's some people pulling double duty, And it's just like I don't know. It's such a excuse, in my opinion, that like SmackDown is such bad TV when you have wrestlers like Cody Rhodes, like Shinsuke, Andrade, Carmelo. Like you have you have solid new SmackDown 6 if you wanted. You have a solid tag division. It's the stories you're telling between all this talent, the cohesiveness of it. I think something that we've really been on one about some of the SmackDown storylines is like they are repetitive. It's the same thing, and we've been seeing the same stars go after each other since we started the pod.
I really think SmackDown has just been LA Knight or Drew McIntyre versus the Bloodline since we started.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, like you finally break up Jacob and Solo, and honestly, I feel like the wrestling community is just like, finally, like it's so like, okay, thank you. We've been waiting for this when you could have done it a couple months ago when we started, and we would have been hyped as hell on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like the thing that they're doing is Triple H cares so much about long-term storytelling that he doesn't understand that sometimes you need the slot brain 1 month, 2 month conclusion.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just like, oh no, everything has to connect for the next 5 years. Everything has to have a little red line to it, like it's Charlie Day in It's Always Sunny at the board. And it's like, dude, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes wrestlers can take pins, and there doesn't need to be an interruption. Sometimes new people can fight each other and start disliking or liking each other, being friends and stuff. It's like, dude, run a show.
Yeah.
You've been running the same show for a year, it feels like.
And that, I mean, the thing is like Cody tells stories of that all the time about how he kind of disagreed with the fact that it was just like him and the Judgment Day for so long on Raw. And he was like, what is this going to lead to? I don't know what. And it was just like, he got advice. I think it was from Michael Hayes, where it was just like, write it out, see where it goes. Led to War Games, led to something great. And I'm not saying that.
But isn't that the exception to the rule?
All of this, I don't think all of this is futile, but I do agree that like Triple H is trying to put a red line through every single storyline, and we are seeing like the bloodline with all these threads to it and from it. It's almost getting to a point where, you know, I think we did think the bloodline was just going to be it was no longer the WWE cinematic universe. It was the bloodline cinematic universe. And we are seeing bloodline aura negatively impact people. Mm-hmm. You know, like we are seeing monsters like JC Mateo look dorky as hell.
Bro, okay, the fit was kind of fire, bro. When he was behind Solo and Solo was at the desk, and Jason Mateo's back there like this with Oakley's on, just deadpan. Like, what are you doing, bro?
I've seen a couple.
You look like a dweeb.
I've seen a couple club bouncers that look like him. Like
Dude, Solo is so awesome, and it sucks that he is the bloodline guy now, because it's like, how cool would Solo be if he wasn't attached to the bloodline? He was just this funny class clown heel.
And
it's crazy. Like
he was at one point.
Like,
yeah,
you get what I'm saying? It is now negative bloodline aura.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, Solo's like the old bloodline guy, and JC Mateo's the new bloodline guy, and Jacob Fatu left the bloodline guy, and the main bloodline guy, he doesn't show up to work anymore. So like but the other bloodline guy just lost his belt. But then his twin brother, who's also used to be a bloodline guy, they're gonna become a tag team again.
You know what this is? It's JC Mateo is the guy that the restaurant hires after like the first wave of people, like
After the goats leave?
Yeah, after like the crew and your friends like leave, and you're the last people that are like at that job, or like you're in high school, or like you're on varsity football, and everybody tells you like, dude, the 4 years that I was on this football team, we were the goats. You wouldn't believe the prime players we had. And now I'm stuck with the fucking freshman JC Mateo.
Solo Sikoa is the sophomore who made varsity, and then his senior year, JC Mateo's the new sophomore, and it's just like, dude, who are these guys? Where's my boys? Like, it sucks to see that happen to a guy like JC Mateo, who is dope. Who has put on great stuff outside of the Fed.
I think in a world where we didn't have to rely on at least one or two people trying to get that bloodline rub at all times.
No. You want to get that bloodline rub?
Yeah. I want to get rubbed down by that bloodline.
You want to get rubbed down by that bloodline? That's crazy.
That entire bloodline. Start with Jay.
Finish with Jimmy, because they look the same.
and I'll forget everything that happened in the middle. Every single cousin.
Isn't this crazy that that's just how Triple H sees these guys?
You know what's crazy is that's how Bonnie Blue sees these guys. But SmackDown started
you have a
with
fiance. Why do you know who that is? Like my brother in Christ. Look at your shirt. You know who that is. Too real.
No, that's fucking funny, dude. But I think it's about time we fucking started talking about SmackDown.
Dude, you're crying. Buddy, it's okay.
I know. It's just
it's okay to know. It's okay to know. Just so many guys.
She's so fucking breathtaking. And I hope none of them hurt her.
I hope they all 1,000 of them treated her so well. It just made her feel so special. No, sorry. I just thought about how we took a segment of the rest. We took a segment.
I do hope you realize that it took us 17 minutes to get to the start of SmackDown here.
I'm just glad we took a 2 or 3 minute spot talking about she should join the Fed.
No, Blake Monroe is already in NXT.
Well, dude, if she could take on 1,000 guys, imagine how many wrestlers she could take.
Imagine how many Samoans, dude.
Take 3.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
But SmackDown opened up this week with John Cena obviously cutting another. I'm ruining wrestling. I have 16 dates left.
I actually really liked this promo.
You guys all suck.
I actually really liked this promo.
I'm a champion. Whatever.
No, I really think the way he talked, this was the first.
No.
This should have been the first promo after Elimination Chamber. Right? And I mean, in the sense of how he's talking, how he's being that confident Cena, but with a tweak. And where it's because Cena's always been kind of a confident asshole.
Yeah.
But it was just painted as the good guy. And now that it's the bad guy, he can just talk the exact same way, but tweak the language. And that's exactly what he did. Calling Punk a hypocrite the way he did, the way that he laid out his master plan. It's dude, this is what you could have been from day one-ish. That could have been what it is. And if that's what the rest of it's going to be, then I'm back on board. If the rest of the promos are like this, but I'm not trying to be the fish in the pond like you told me, where there's a little worm on the end of the hook. I'm trying to not chase the worm. Because the next one's not going to be as good as this one. You've done that to my brain. You've made me realize. It's like the episode of SpongeBob when Mr. Krabs says, "Stop grabbing the fish hooks."
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm an adult now. I'm done grabbing the fish hooks. Show it to me back to back. People, like, you're gonna do great with Punk.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do great with next person?
So Cena opened the show. You saw it. You really liked that promo. He was confronted by Cody Rhodes. Did he say anything specifically before he
basically
got interrupted?
he basically just like laid out like, I planned everything from the jump. Like, I knew I could use my seniority after I lost the Rumble to get into the chamber. I knew that Seth and Punk were going to eat each other alive, and that's how I'd win.
Yeah.
I took the Rock's plan so that I can have my chance against Cody Rhodes. Like, basically laid out, like, everything I did was methodically made to go to this point. I knew Randy would get over, like, hyped about being at home, and I would crush that. Like, It was very much so Cena being the bad guy in a cartoon, laying out his evil plan before it stopped.
Yeah.
Type beat. But that's what you need out of this Cena, right? Like, is passionately going against everyone here who's trying to quote unquote help him when he doesn't. You can't save her. She don't want to be saved.
That is, yeah. I'm glad that like we're seeing a little like. It's funny because it kind of does feel like 1 in every 5 John Cena promos is like, see, why can't you do this the entire time?
Dude, he had a bar where he was like, and Seth Rollins will not cash in on me because he knows when I leave with this, he'll have the only championship that matters. And I was like, that's a bar.
Yeah.
Where is this? The other 5 appearances you had, the other 4 appearances you had this month, bro. Nah, you'd rather kick people in the nuts.
Yeah.
You think that's good television?
Well, he said he was going to ruin wrestling, Dylan.
He did say that. He did say that.
Actually, Dylan, he did say that he was going to ruin wrestling.
And that's why him and Logan Paul became friends, because they're both ruining wrestling together.
And they're both real fiends together. You know, they're 2 fiends.
And I run an IWC page that has 100,000 followers.
Yeah. I do wish we did have 100,000 followers.
You should follow us.
You should follow us and spread it with your friends.
You should
tell 10 people and then tell them to tell 10 people. And then maybe...
Let's Ponzi scheme our way to subscribers. Yes, I got this energy drink. If you sell something, cut me the profit, then you can get more people.
See, I got this energy. I got this energy drink. It was since I was a child. I wanted to make.
It
was my dream to get into the energy drink company.
This is how we beef with Nate Shot.
Yeah.
As a wrestling podcast.
Yeah. Well, we got. I mean.
But yeah, so he talks. He talks his mess.
Yeah.
And then Cody comes out.
And
then Randy come out. And then LA Knight come out. And you know, it's a bunch of back and forth. It's really hard to like explain a wrestling promo because we all know what it is at this point with John Cena.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and gets attacked by the Ron Killings. New cut. Looking clean.
Looking like Minoru Suzuki. That is set up for next week. John Cena is going to have one of his first television matches. When was the last time he had a television match?
Saturday Night Main Event.
That
does count, unfortunately.
That was unfortunately on cable.
But you mean like an episode of Raw or SmackDown?
Yeah, like an episode of Raw or SmackDown.
Man, dude, it's been
before
years.
Yeah,
it's been years, man.
Over 5.
100%. No, I would be willing to bet that. Yes.
But yeah, he gets attacked by Ron Killings on his way out after he's like, I don't care what any of y'all say. You know, I'm still walking out as champ. Yeah, there's only going to be one championship. I'm going to ruin wrestling. Ron Killings attacks him on the way out. They're set up for next week. I don't think it's for the championship.
If every match he's in isn't for the if he has a match that isn't for the championship, then why am I watching the match?
If he has an appearance on his retirement tour that isn't a match, why is he there?
Well, no. You want
Okay.
him to have fucking 50 matches? It's John Cena. Oh man, I haven't cussed on this podcast. I haven't said the F word on this podcast in a while. Well, that felt bad.
Welcome back. But
Man, I'm so sorry, fiance's dad. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I'm too crass now. He's gonna say I have a mouth on me too.
no,
I'm sorry.
but like,
Dude, he has 40
Cena-
appearances.
I know he has 40, 50
You wanna do
appearances.
40 matches?
I'm not asking him for 40 matches, but it's like the last fucking 35 appearances that he's had.
2 matches last month.
I'm saying 17 of them have basically just been the same segment. It says, "Hey, I'm gonna ruin wrestling." Evil X number question mark comes
now
out.
my Evil X bit is cool.
Yeah.
To you. When I do it, you don't want to take the bait. But now that you're starting it, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, but I agree. All the Evil X's are coming out. We're just watching John Cena versus the world.
But I don't mind. It's just
2 little matches. And the matches he's having, he's just kicking people and hitting with the belt.
Okay, no. The point I'm trying to make is the builds have been way too similar. These segments that you are wasting on this retirement tour are way too similar.
If every promo,
Way too similar.
If every promo was like this promo in intensity and like actual care of how he's talking, we wouldn't be talking about this. It's like you're saying it's the every couple promos thing.
Yeah.
It's like, where is this every night?
Yeah.
I need this enthusiasm. I need this love for the game every night. But I do want to move into the match that followed, which is the King of the Ring qualifying match.
One of our first King of the Ring qualifiers was between Randy Orton, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black, with Randy Orton coming out on top.
Dude, it's like we talked about. These spot fests are so fun.
That's what
it's
these
all
triple threats, fatal four ways are all for.
Well, they're so people won't take pins.
That too.
Because for some reason in my fake wrestling promotion where we create the script and we create how strong and weak people are, them getting pinned looks so bad for some reason.
Yeah.
I was talking about, this is so off topic, I'm so sorry. It's about the pin thing where it's like I was talking to somebody and they're like, Lucha Underground was a show about a wrestling promotion. It's so much different than WWE. And I'm like, Doc, what are you talking about? They're all just reality shows. They're all reality shows, and we make up our rules. We make up the rules of wrestling, but in WWE as a promotion, a rule is if you take a pin, you look weak for some reason. I don't get it. I don't know when it became like this, because I feel like people used to lose matches all the time. Everyone's all mad about Jay having a 50-day reign, when, bro, I think 9 out of John Cena's 17 are 50 or less than 50 days. Like, that used to be the normal, and it was fine, and no one cared. But now everyone wants their 300-day reign, and it's like, dude, you got to have belt movement. You got to have people take pins. It's not looking weak. If Randy Orton wins this match,
Randy Orton qualifies for the King of the Ring,
and he pins, I believe, Carmelo Hayes on a dope ending to this match. Like, the spot to end the match is awesome. But they don't want Aleister Black and LA Knight to take this pin, and that's the only reason the Fatal 4-Way exists, in my opinion. Yeah. Where it's like, bro, let's be honest here. If Aleister Black took a pin in this match, no one would think it was weak if it was a good match.
I agree with you there, but I think, like, at least in my head canon, if you are taking a loss or taking a pin, in a fatal 4-way or triple threat match where you can lose without even being involved, I don't think it hurts you as bad as a one-on-one loss.
Yes, but I think that's the reality we've created.
I know.
Where it's like, man, I would love to see Randy Orton versus Aleister Black in a one-on-one. Yeah. But what I'm worried about is they're just going to find a way to make it so neither of them eat a pin. And that's a problem. These people should be you're allowed to lose to people who are better or good. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just think there's too many disqualifications, too many interferences, and too many people not taking pins because they don't want to quote-unquote look weak. Yeah. Like, Pin Balor only exists because of this not wanting people to take pins thing.
Yeah, Pin Balor. like
he's eating pins in matches that he shouldn't have to, because we don't want Seth or Punk to eat a pin, like that kind of vibe.
I don't think they're politicking that hard. I think
it's a reality that is created inside of the universe that is WWE.
Finn Balor ends up in these situations where he doesn't end up on the receiving end of a pin a lot. He is almost becoming the modern day like Dolph Ziggler in that regard, where it's like he is a good worker. You can rely on him for basically turning chicken shit to chicken salad. But it's just so unfortunate because you've nerfed a guy like Prince Devitt.
Yeah,
and
the Demon.
It's one thing to expect. I think it's something that I've thought about a lot. Is like it's one thing to expect Finn Balor to win. I guess it's another thing to expect like I want New Japan Finn Balor back. I want that kind of thing because it's just like he's a veteran. He's gonna move differently. He's gonna adapt a different style.
To rein this into the point. Yeah. I mean, we could also getting to that. It's like Shinsuke signed with WWE to work less days. Everyone's mad at him for not being on enough, and it's like, dude, this is what he wanted when he signed with the WWE.
Yeah.
He wanted to take it easier and only work when he has to. He was done being an everyday wrestler. But like, to come back to the pin thing with Finn Balor, it's like you've nerfed a character by making him eat every pin in a universe where eating pins is bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think more people need to win and lose. When I watch a wrestling show and there's 5 matches and 3 of them end in interruption wins and losses, it's just like, man, you care so much about making these people appear strong through wins and losses in a made-up sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the best way to put it. Because, like, how many times in the past did we see Randy Orton eat a pin? Like, back in the, 2010s to 2020s.
Oh.
I feel like through those years, we've seen good people take pins a lot. And now people just don't take pins. They just refuse to take a pin.
Yeah.
They make taking a pin seem like it's the worst thing in the world. And it's like, dude, if you put on a great match, 90% of the time people don't care who won or lost. If you put on a good match.
That is very true. And I think that it's also in in the argument of I see it on Twitter. What do you like about wrestling more, the in-ring abilities or the storytelling? And it's like it's a little bit of both.
Well, yeah,
you can't just tell your stories just based on who's getting pinned and who's winning and who's a better wrestler and whatnot. It is who is, who's the sly underdog that got a sneaky victory, or who's the shit-eating heel that got a roll-up, that kind of thing.
But it also feels like these underdogs aren't getting pins on people that matter. They're getting pins on, unfortunately, Finn Balor.
Yeah.
They're getting them on this lower to upper mid-card, lower top card, upper mid-card wrestlers.
That almost doesn't really matter, too, because it's having a win against Finn Balor at this point
doesn't matter.
It doesn't give you any more.
I could have a win.
It doesn't give you any more points on where you are on the rankings than a win over JD McDonough.
I'd rather have a win against Penta. That means so much more now. Because of how bad Pin is, which I guess that works to the benefit of what Triple H is doing, but also because
he's the newer, better star.
It's a tier list. In my head, Hunter has a tier list of people that hey, this win matters. You know what I mean? Because of how often they win and lose.
Yeah.
Where it's every time Finn goes into a match now, I just think he's getting pinned, and you can't do that to a wrestler, man.
To be fair, you also can't swing it the other way where you fully expect a wrestler to
I mean, I thought that for Roman's whole
I know. That's
that he was going to win every match. When did it ever feel like he was going to lose other than Cody won when he arguably should have lost?
You can't swing too far in either direction.
You can't be Icarus. You can't fly too close to the sun.
Because then it's not fun to watch as a fan. You're going into these matches of Roman Reigns and you're like, doesn't matter. It could be Sammy, it could be John, it could be fucking me in there. Actually, not me. I would win.
Honestly, I think you would roll up Finn Balor and they would make him take the 3, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's a give and take. There's good things to the way that this pinning has gone.
Yeah.
The pin stuff just makes me upset because it's just like it's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I feel like so much of wrestling community is like, oh, he loses all the time. Who cares about him? It's like, bro, it's a written show. Like, I'm also upset with the writing of this episode and the fact that every episode, certain wrestlers I like take pins. But it's like, they've made it so that taking a pin is so bad. And it sucks. And I think that's the only reason these Fatal 4-Ways exist, where we're going to move on to the women.
Jade Cargill was in the first round qualifier for the Queen of the Ring against Nia Jax, Michin, and Piper Niven, with Jade Cargill qualifying, moving on the SmackDown side. Again, very fun match. It was kind of like the immovable force in Jade Cargill meets like the immovable objects with Nia Jax and Piper Niven, and Michin's there too.
I like Michin, man.
Yeah, she's great for again. You want to have these people that can wrestle and hoop and sell, and Michin and Piper Niven, they can all do that, and I think platforming Jade Cargill, we'll get into it later, but she's facing Roxanne Perez, and I think this is going to be such a good.
It's going to be. I'm really interested on the.
It'll be such a good match.
I'm interested on which way they're going to take it.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to have it be the Jade destroys Roxanne all match and she barely gets her offense in sometimes, or are they going to have it be like a 50-50? It's probably going to be the first one, and I'm okay with that as long as Roxanne
Naomi could get involved. There's a lot of possibilities there.
We predicted our kings and queens of the ring, right?
We made early guesses.
I think you had Sami Zayn. Or did I have Sami Zayn?
We both went Sami Zayn, I believe.
We both went Sami Zayn, and then for the women, I think you went Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, Queen Roxy.
And I went Stephanie. No, I don't remember who I went.
Ivy Nile.
Never in my life would I think it would be Ivy Nile.
Sorry, Candice LeRae.
Is she even in the company anymore?
Yeah, she was literally on this episode.
No, I know. I'm just being mean.
Why? Because mothers can't wrestle? You think mothers can't? The mothers can't be in the ring, huh? They can't do it. They can't do it like they could.
Is that your impression of me?
Actually, he's ruining wrestling.
That you know what? He is ruining wrestling. Hey, he's ruining wrestling.
Mothers are ruining wrestling. They are always breastfeeding too much when they're cutting their promos. And they're always too distracted by the baby monitors to even yell at the referee. And with that in mind...
they got to mix the formula.
Yeah. And with that in mind, like, the referees are keeping an eye on Tiffany Stratton and her safety.
Dude, I love this, like, Naomi's teasing Tiffany, where she's like, well, I'm gonna cash in. No, I'll save it. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect for what Naomi's character is, because Naomi's character is supposed to just...
She's a crazy bitch.
She PMO, man. She bit me off. But that's the point. She bit me off.
And being horny for Jimmy Uso on Twitter.
God, dude, she is so...
Sorry. Big Jim.
She's so horny for Big Jim, dude.
Big Jim.
You know what?
Caps.
That's love.
That's love.
Hey, she in love. But yeah, I'm really excited for how this Naomi Money in the Bank's gonna go.
I was gonna say, do we think what is Naomi using her TSA threat? Which champion is she using her
Tiffany Stratton
threat to TSA on?
She's gonna want the SmackDown title. I think that that Raw title picture is just a little too mucked up for her to want to go into.
I mean, it's possible though that like they could pivot because they got to. We'll get into it later.
Have to.
We will. We'll get into it later.
They don't have to.
But they could. They should. They maybe would. I don't know.
The Wyatts.
The Wyatt 6 defeated Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City Machine Guns are true professionals and did exactly what they needed to in the match to make the Wyatt 6 look like the Wyatt 6.
Oh, wow. These 20-year veterans put over Dexter Loomis.
Yeah, that's literally what it was.
And fucking...
Who's the other guy? Come on.
Redbeard Eric? Is it Eric Rowan? Is he in there?
I don't think he was in the match, but I think he was there on the side.
Who was in the match with him? Who was...
The other guy.
Bo Dallas?
No. There's
The
four.
other one.
There's 4 guys. 4 big guys.
I don't know.
But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I don't care. Make them matter.
Joe Gacy.
Thank you.
Yeah, make it matter. It's been very like I feel like it's just been a cold, rough start for the Wyatt 6.
Bo Dallas getting hurt just ruined this group.
Yeah,
it made it so hard because they had so much momentum, and then they didn't get pushed at the right time, and then they finally started getting what they needed, and then Bo got hurt, and it's like you kind of can't do the whole Wyatt.
I also think it's
thing.
a little too much of a unique storyline to be telling. Like sometimes it's just like, why the fuck for the 3rd week in a row are we scanning QR codes to put the storyline together? Like tell some stories with
Spell
some
it out,
words.
man. Spell it out. Like bro,
I don't want to work for my fucking wrestling.
I love you. I love wrestling, and I love Bo Dallas, and I think the Wyatt 6 idea is so cool.
Yeah.
But man, it's not cool when I have to do an what's it called, like an RTG,
Yeah.
where you have to like find all the stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do an RTG for my wrestling, bro. I don't want to have to do it, bro. I just want to watch wrestling and be able to consume it and not have to scan a QR code and read the Bible backwards to understand what's going on. It's just what it...
Learn Latin.
Yes, I just don't want to have to do all that
Yeah.
to enjoy my wrestling. Because there's great fatal 4-ways on these cards, and there's so much wrestling that's just in my face for me to have to become a psychoanalyst.
And sometimes
crazy.
it's fun. You know, sometimes it is fun to pick apart promos, and if you want to be cheeky with it.
But when
but fucking I don't want to pull out. I don't want to scan a QR code, see a picture of a dead pig, and go Huskus. You know,
Husky Harris.
I don't
Rest
want
in
that.
peace.
I
don't want to scan a QR code and open my camera to the screen dialogue TV. It's like, bro, I just want to watch you guys fight somebody.
Why did Bo Dallas send me to a flash game of me trying to put a square on the other side of the maze game, and then I get jump scared by
and then I got circle
lady.
holes. I can't put the squares in the circle holes, and I finally get it through, and then I get
the square hole,
and then I get jump scared. I don't know. The idea is so dope, and they just keep fumbling. That's one thing I'll say is Vince was better at these creepy gimmicks than Triple H was.
It's
like booking these creepy gimmicks. I think Vince was better at.
I think it's a product of the time because I think Vince was able to book multiple scary gimmicks very well with no issue, and I think it's also to deal with phones and people's like sensitivity to these kinds of things. But I think in the modern era, we would not have monsters like the Boogeyman, like Papa Shango, like I don't know if Undertaker. Hold my hand here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Undertaker even works in the modern day. You know.
I think you're wrong, but I get where you're coming from.
Okay.
I don't even mean just all time. I mean like even Bray Wyatt. Like Bray Wyatt was booked pretty okay under Vince, in comparison to the Wyatt 6 under Triple H.
Yeah.
It's like it just feels like Triple H doesn't understand how these things are supposed to be received by the crowd.
Even for being squashed by John Cena, the Wyatts is pretty good.
The Wyatts were dope, and everyone loved them, and everyone loved Bray. And it might just be a Bray thing. It might just be Bray was that sick, right? Wyndham may have just been the GOAT.
Yeah.
But also, the way Vince wrote for those characters, or got the writers to write for those characters, and the way that those characters were presented was much more scary and much more deliberate. Even the Firefly Funhouse and the big face, the big old face thing he did with the belt, that was even more well received than the Wyatt Six, and that shit was terrible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Fiend was like pretty bad. But Bray made it good, but also it was booked well.
Yeah.
It was booked to win a title. You haven't booked the Wyatt Six to be good in the tag division at all, or in anything.
I've held this hot take for a while now. The Wyatt Six never had any world champion material at all.
No, but give Bo an IC title.
I don't even think they have that in them.
I think they did at one point.
I would. Okay.
Alexa Bliss should have been the head of it. I think that was the problem. That was the main attraction, and she wasn't back in time. So when it was time for the Wyatt Six to happen, that was their main title holder, was a woman. But it's just, it doesn't work now. You can't have her in the group now. But she did win the Fatal 4-Way for Queen of the Ring.
She did qualify
with
for the Queen of the Ring. With a crazy cool spot ending. I don't know if you saw how the spot ended. Defeating Charlotte Flair, Alba Fire, and Candice LeRae.
Charlotte Flair had a figure 8 locked in while Alexa Bliss hit a Sister Abigail and got the 1, 2, 3. It was super cool.
Yeah.
And Alexa Bliss is like staring at her like while she gets the pin.
Yeah.
Super dope. Super dope.
Yeah, good for her. I think this is a surprising win. I think mostly because we were concerned that the Flair ban was going all the way.
100%.
I'm excited for Alexa Bliss. I think they're doing a very good job of kind of subverting our expectations.
I thought Charlotte was for sure winning that match, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the King and Queen of the Ring. I think they're gonna do more expectation subversion. I think everyone thinks Cody's gonna win and Sammy's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think for the women, everyone thought it was gonna be Charlotte.
Cody Rhodes did qualify for the King of the Ring, defeating Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Andrade.
And it's
again.
No way anyone but Cody's winning that match.
What, you don't want two-time king Shinsuke Nakamura? You don't want that again?
You know, good match then tonight. Cody gets a win. It's the King and Queen of the Ring are kind of going as expected, except the Alexa Bliss part.
Yeah.
Like, I expected Jade to get through. I expected Randy to get through. I expected Cody to get through.
I think the only thing that we weren't expecting was the fucking Jey Uso as that mystery contender in that qualifier.
I kind of hate it.
You know?
Kind of wish it was Ilya Dragunov.
And I know that that's the final match on Raw, but it's like he qualified for the King of the Ring, defeating Sheamus, Rusev, and Bronson Reed. And I think we were really thinking that it was going to be Ilya Dragunov, concerned it was going to be Goldberg. Goldberg was announced for a different segment.
Oh, man. Let's just get to Raw, man. Let's just get to the sad news.
Let's get Raw together.
Liv Morgan dislocated her shoulder.
She's out for 6 months.
Kairi Sane, man.
Liv Morgan dislocates her shoulder. She requires surgery. She's out for 6 months. They have to rewrite the entirety of Evolution 2 because she's the main character.
Her and Nikki Bella, bro. That was gonna be the big thing.
And let's be real.
Hey. Because that match was...
It would have been a stinker.
I was not happy with them being the main attraction. Man, can I say it?
Because
can I say something?
Something.
Why the hell is Io Sky only backstage? She is my women's champion, and I haven't seen her in the ring in a month. She's just backstage segments. Oh my God, Nikki, thank you for everything you've done for wrestling. That was last week.
Yeah.
This week she's talking to Liv face to face. I want to see Io Sky do something, man. The whole point. I feel like the women's title is more of a on TV title. I feel like the women who are main champions are on TV more and are in more matches and are more active on the main roster. And I don't understand why you finally put it on Io again. And she had... See how over she is? When they show her on screen, everyone's doing this, everyone's happy. How about you put her on a match, man? How about you put her out in the ring so she can talk to the people instead of just sitting backstage? Oh, man, dude. I love the product, man, but Triple H, sometimes, dude, you overthink so much about championships and matches and wins. It's like, dude, let her go out there and have the fans see her in person and be excited. She's so over. You're killing any momentum she had.
Yeah, and that's been an issue with the Triple H regime. Like, he doesn't have his champions wrestle, and I think getting into what I was kind of alluding to earlier was, since Liv Morgan was like our main character heading into Evolution 2, is like, how are they going to rewrite some of these storylines? How are they going to...
Rhea Ripley.
Is it Rhea Ripley? Is it Stephanie Vakir? Is it Julia?
I think it's too early for Julia and Stephanie.
I want to almost suggest too, like, they do have the option to early cash in on an Io. I know, on the Raw Women's Champion, and have Naomi, this fiery new champ, and have like
but then
have a main event that's people care about.
But Io's title reign sucks if you do that. Has she defended since WrestleMania?
I don't think so.
You can't cash in on somebody who's not fighting. That's the worst title reign ever. If you're going to put Io Sky, you're going to give her this great main event. She shows out, and then you're not going to put her on. You're not going to give her a match. She hasn't defended since WrestleMania, and then you're going to have her drop it to Naomi. I think that'd be really bad. Tiffany Stratton has been stuck in the Nia Jax vortex for since her title reign started. Yeah. How about you have Naomi just take her out of it? I'm over that title. I need Io to do something more with the women's title before we just yank it off her. She hasn't had a chance, dude. She hasn't defended. She hasn't had a chance to have a title reign, and that's why when you say that, it pisses me off, because it's just like, dude, she hasn't had a chance to have a title reign. Everyone's like, this Io title reign is so underwhelming. Well, dude, Triple H keeps booking her for backstage segments instead of coming out to the crowd.
But that is one place nobody would ever expect to be cashed in on, and that's catering.
I hate it. I just hate it. I just hate it so much.
Asuka qualifies for the Queen of the Ring, defeating Stephanie Vakir, Ivy Nile, and Raquel Rodriguez. Asuka, was kind of a no-brainer here. I think Stephanie Vakir, I'm a little surprised didn't make it to the semifinals at least. Kind of make an all-star performance out of her.
Yeah,
but is it worse for her if she's knocked out first round or semifinals?
I think it's worse for her if she loses the one-on-one because of the way the show is written. We talked about the pin thing.
Yeah,
at least here, I don't believe she.
I don't think she took the pin here at all. Yeah, which did protect her.
Yeah, she didn't take the pin. She gets protected. I hate that we have to even talk about that being a thing, but we do.
Well, you wanna struggle through this next segment?
No. Let's finish this. I'm so happy Asuka's back. With her old theme music.
Yeah.
It's so good to see her. She has been such a staple for this WWE women's division for a long time now, for us at least. And it's just really nice to have her, Kairi Sane, and Io back. Whether they're in Damage Control or in singles adventures.
Yeah.
So happy that they're all back. And it's just really nice to see. Asuka is amazing, and I think they're going to give her another push in the next couple months.
She has stone cold glass break level pops.
Doc,
she got 3 separate pops just for the lights off return, the mask, and then her actually just coming out on the ramp.
Yeah, dude, she is over, and everyone's so happy she's back, and they cashed in on it by giving her this qualifying win, and her matchup's awesome. Her and Alexa Bliss is gonna be great.
Yeah.
But let's suffer through. Dude, how long are we gonna really talk about this? I don't want to crash out. I was gonna say,
how much gas do you have in your tank? How much do you want to say?
I'm running on a quarter tank, dude. I don't. Dude, he's bald.
Goldberg.
He's bald.
Goldberg is set for his retirement match at Saturday night's main event against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Did he say the words retirement match? Or are we just speculating?
It's in his hometown.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if he said the word specifically, but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, sign this Legends contract. We'll give you one more match in your hometown, that kind of thing.
I just don't care.
I think what we're hoping for, and I think a lot of what I've read on the internet, is like there is an opportunity to have I'm not going to say good, a decent, if they can do a good squash match between the two, it'd be entertaining, But the Gunther and Goldberg, if they're trying to have a serious match like they've attempted with Goldberg for the last 4 retirement matches he's had,
not gonna happen, bro.
It's he's going to be struggling. He's going to be heaving through it. He's going to look cherry red 3 minutes into it.
If it is more than 3 minutes, if it is more than 3 or 4 minutes, bro, I'm going to go take a pee.
Yeah.
This should be I should see a jackhammer, I should see a spear, and I should see Gunther with all the offense other than that. And I should see Gunther dog walk him out of his hometown. There's just no way that. Why does everyone want this? Why does everybody in WWE, why do all these executives want Gunther and Goldberg? Why is that the match? I don't think their styles clash well at all. I don't think there's this chemistry. Why is everybody so fixated on Gunther and Goldberg? I feel like I've been hearing about this for years.
It's a matter of, I think it's wrestling style. I think it's almost there's probably wrestling fans out there that think it's two opposites colliding. It is Gunther has compared his wrestling to an American crowd. It's like reading Shakespeare to a dog.
Yeah.
And I think Goldberg is like the puppy bowl.
Yeah.
We're entertained because it's he has 3 moves. He does jackhammer.
He spin jackhammer, and he's strong, and he yells, and he has spark when he come out. He goes sparky, sparky, spark.
And he's fucking bald.
And he's bald and
he's
jacked at
shit,
60.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't care. Never cared. Never did care. Never will care. Next match, I also just don't really care that AJ Styles beat JD McDonough. JD McDonough doesn't exist in my head. Hey, if you care about JD McDonough, look up because he assaults people in the ring. Look up JD McDonough assault because he really be assaulting them guys.
He's really good. He's really good at assault.
He's really good at it.
AJ Styles defeated him. AJ Styles assaulted JD McDonough and is looking to go after Dirty Dom's IC title. And I think it's actually set up for Night of Champions, Dirty Dom versus AJ Styles for the IC title.
This is a cool match. I'm happy with this match. I'm not happy about watching Goldberg and Gunther talk into an AJ Styles JD McDonough match, but AJ Styles is starting to use the Styles class as his finish again instead of the phenomenal forearm, and I'm really happy about that because the Styles Clash is an aesthetically pleasing move.
Yeah. I also am a big fan of Michelle McCool, but AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio is probably going to be a proving ground match for Dirty Dom to
Do you think Dom defends?
Yeah, it's officially set up.
No, I'm saying, do you think he defends? Do you think he walks out with the IC title?
Yes.
I think so too.
I've read that this is a proving ground match for him where he can really show that he's a grown-ass man and he's not this kid that they hired a while ago. He's had a couple of those now, and I think that
WrestleMania match did it for me, man.
Him versus AJ Styles is going to they're gonna ball.
I think that'll steal the show. Type beat
without a doubt. If we're dealing with John Cena and The Miz covering for a recently injured Cena, like after they write off CM Punk, you know?
Is it really? Is the next Evil X The Miz, bro?
Well, I don't know. I want to say, I only bring that up because I want to say that I think CM Punk there will be an injury angle and they'll write him off so he doesn't have to do Saudi and they'll save it for SummerSlam.
Bro, so who's gonna? You think it's gonna be The Miz that fights him out?
I don't know if it's gonna be The Miz, but
I think it'll be Ron Killings.
It could be Ron Killings.
Which kind of, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate because the whole point was like every premium live event was supposed to be a different Evil X. Why do I got to run back Ron Killings?
Yeah. Well, why did we?
I love what they're doing with Ron Killings. I can't say anything. I love what they're doing with Truth. I do love it. I'm not trying to be cynical. This is the cynical Dylan episode. I'm being an asshole all episode. I don't like it. It's hard to be happy after hearing the name Bill Goldberg in a WWE ring. It's just hard. Yeah, man. Cool. Awesome. Yay. Like it's hard. I don't know what they're doing with this last run, man. Part of me hopes that they do the save for SummerSlam thing, but also like we could also just get it out of the way.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to find out for sure.
I don't envy Triple H's job whatsoever. I may hate it and think he could do better, but I know I couldn't. So it's hard.
Wrapping up Raw here, we'll just talk about Becky Lynch and Bayley real quick. They had another face-off against one another. Finally, Bayley said some choice words for the Irish lass kicker.
What if it's not gonna happen? What if Lyra sides with Becky? Is she just too good of a face right now? She just too on the wave of becoming the next big face girl?
I mean, I guess she could side with Becky. I haven't necessarily been keeping up with the storyline the most, but she could side with Becky and betray her for
eventually down
as because the whole thing was I have to admit that you're the better Irish bitch. Why doesn't Becky take advantage of that and be like, you are my minion, I will teach you how to be just as good as this Irish bitch?
Well, she could do that, but I also see it as just Lyra being like, why are you making this all about you, Bayley? This was me versus Becky. Yeah, she took you out so that she can be in a meaningless tag team women's title match. That tag team title match didn't get her the IC title match. It was her turning on me that did that.
It could also be
you get what I mean. It's just I think Lyra, there's a world where Lyra sees what Becky's doing. It's just bro, what are you doing?
I could see a world, too, of Lyra, again, being Becky's minion, turning on Becky and being like, let's go back to where this was all supposed to be. Between me and you, Bayley, because that's what the Mania match was supposed to be.
But it's also hard because of
I don't know.
It's just difficult because Lyra's your up and coming face, and you don't want to turn that heel right away. There's not a lot of up and coming face female wrestlers.
You can still be a face and be like, I want to fucking fight.
Yeah, but if you side with Becky, you're becoming the heel. You can't side with Becky and still be a face.
You can be
no, not you. The whole point of her turning, if she turns on Bayley, that's
no, it's got to be a thing of
Bayley.
she is in segments with Bayley where she is like, hey, I'm this close to turning on Becky. The audience knows more than Becky.
I guess
Becky, basically.
That could make sense, but also I think that's too meta for Triple H's
P-brain.
Concussed the brain.
Yeah.
He has too many concussions from taking steel chairs and sledgehammers to the dome.
Yeah.
Sounds like me at a party.
But I think to end off this week's episode, we're going to predict our winners for the semifinal matches of the Queen and the King of the Ring. We'll start off with Queen of the Ring. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka is the semifinal.
Man, that's tough.
It could go either way here.
The reason because if you go Asuka then she goes after Io's belt, and that's gonna be such a dope match.
Yeah.
But if you have Alexa,
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that the kings and queens
Get a chance.
get a title shot. Yeah.
so it's like, it's about how you look at this, right? Like, is Alexa gonna go after Tiffany Stratton? Not really. I think whoever wins Queen of the Ring is gonna go after.
Ooh.
That's so tough.
Roxanne Perez versus Io, though.
Oh my god, dude.
Banana bread at work, dude.
I think Asuka wins this match over Alexa Bliss because they're gonna write out what if Asuka and Io go again? Like, that's how they're gonna do it. And I think whoever wins Roxanne Perez, Jade Cargill is gonna win the whole thing.
I think it'll be Alexa moving on between the two ladies. And then I think Roxanne... that's even tougher because I don't want to see Jade lose.
Right.
But I imagine maybe Naomi...
What if Raquel helps Roxanne because Liv's gone now? Because they did the whole segment where Raquel looked confused after Finn talked to her and was talking to Roxanne.
Yeah.
So there's a world that happens.
Very true. Yeah. It is
I'm going to go Roxanne because of that.
I think Naomi's going to get involved or Raquel gets involved, and it'll be Roxanne versus Alexa.
And for me, it'll be Roxanne, Asuka, and we save our predictions for the finals
Yep. Yeah, because that's the finals happen at Night of Champions.
Yes, so we will have our predictions episode then.
Yeah, so I believe it'll be Roxanne.
So you have Roxanne versus Alexa, I have Roxanne versus Asuka.
Yes.
Nice.
And then for the semifinals, for the King of the Ring, we'll start off with Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso.
Man, that's going to be a fun match.
Do you feel him, sir? A couple libations this match.
I think this is going to be a fun match. It's something that I didn't expect to see at all.
No.
Not expect to be here. I thought it was going to be like Ilya, Goldberg, etc., etc. But the fact that we do get Cody versus Jey is, if I'm going to be easily critical of Triple H, I also need to be able to give him his ups when he deserves it. This is a fun way to do King, and I think he's done a really good job on King and Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
I don't think he's missed so far on King and Queen of the Ring. I think I'm going to go Cody Rhodes. I don't see Cody losing to Jey.
I agree.
I think Jey is getting pushed down to go back to tagging with his brother because the Raw Tag Division needs it. The Raw Tag Division needs it.
I know.
I'm excited to see the Usos back together. Here's the thing. Jey Uso got his run. We all wanted him to get his run. He got his main event run. I'm really happy for you. You are the best tag team, arguably, ever of your generation. You and the New Day. Imagine face Usos versus heel New Day is something we haven't seen.
Yeah.
We've only seen the inverse.
Yeah.
So I would be excited to see the inverse.
Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton. Sammy.
I think Sammy wins it all, man.
I think for the finals, I think it's Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso.
Dude, but Sammy, Cody, they're such good friends.
So is Sammy and Jey.
That's the fun part about this. Is it's just like,
so I think,
man, maybe the bloodline did help.
But Cody and Jey are also friends. I think Cody is his kindness is going to cost him. And I think Jey is going to be so focused on wanting to get his title back, he's going to squeak out that victory just over. He'll handshake Cody. It's going to be civil between the two of them.
Yeah,
it's not going to be.
It's going to be. We're
rough.
besties. We drink beer before. We get really drunk before press conferences, and then admit that on television. By the way, if I admitted to doing that at my job, I'd get fired. So that's cool.
Yeah, and then I think it's that story in the final round.
Don't say story in Cody Rhodes. You can't do that.
No, but I'm saying that story in the final round between Sami Zayn and Jey Uso.
It'll be awesome.
His road dog. Part of me. I'm still gonna. I'm still firmly Sami. But I realize that if Sami is winning, he's being booked to win in Saudi Arabia, and I don't know if politically that makes sense with the WWE.
Oh, dude, there's gonna be such a pop when he loses.
Yeah.
Wait, he might not make it. I don't think he wants to go to Saudi Arabia.
He's been there though.
I know, but I don't think he wants to with the whole
What's going on over there? Do you know?
And we'll see you next time.
No, honestly, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Follow the damn podcast at Pod-a-Mania Pod. Follow him at Bozo Dills at _EWL3. Catch us next week. I don't think we have a predictions episode next week, but
Is it the week after?
I don't know. Catch us next week for another great, grand fucking episode of Pod-a-Mania. I'll kiss your mom. You have a wonderful night.
I'll kiss you and your mom.